Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today I'm here with a slightly similar but different video to the last one. Anyway, I ended up making a video before where I basically took a stock car and wanted to see if I could do one of each event. So speed trap, speed zone, drift zone and danger sign jump. So then people have said, why don't I just try to choose a cheap car, modify it, tune it, and then see if I can do it with that. So this is what I'm going to do in today's video. The Alfa Romeo 4C is, I'm pretty sure, a very underrated car. You can do a lot of stuff to this car, and it's fairly cheap to buy. So let's have a look exactly what the bio price for this thing is. I know it's a lot less than 100 grand, and it's 74 grand. So that's fairly cheap in this game. It is also a very common car, so you can probably get this thing in wheel spins all the time. But yeah, 74 grand to buy. That's a very, very cheap car. You do a couple of races, you do a Goliath race once, and you already have more money to just buy this thing. So, again, it's a cheap car. There's probably a lot of other cars that you can still use that will most likely do the exact same thing. There's obviously cars that are pretty much 20 grand. 20 grand, I think, is the cheapest cheapest you can buy a car in this game. So, again, there is most likely other cars that can do the same thing as this. But I thought Alfa 4C, it's aerodynamically pretty sound, so I feel like it should be kind of fun and kind of good to drive. So that's what I'm going to do in today's video. I'm going to take this Alfa, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to upgrade it, see how much money I can spend on this thing, pretty much with all the upgrades that I really need. So let's start off with the engine swaps. So I'm going to pretty much max this thing out, see how high it goes. Right now it starts off at 768 in the A-class, which is very good for a car that starts off as a pretty much stock car that's less than 100 grand, so it's a fairly cheap car. It also only weighs 942 kilos. Well, it weighs a little bit less, but I put the sirens on top of it, or not the sirens, but the police lights on top of this thing, so it's a little bit different. But I will end up getting rid of those once we end up modifying this thing. So 240 horsepower, 942 kilos to start off with. Now let's go ahead and start engine swapping and seeing what we can do to this thing. So we can have a 3-liter V8 racing engine in this thing, which is, it's a lot lighter than pretty much the other two engines, and let's just put that in and see how much power we can squeeze out of that. I'm also going to go ahead and change this thing to all-wheel drive so it can be good on any terrain. Already, twin turboing this and adding that engine brings our launch to 10, our acceleration up to 9.3, and our speed fairly high as well, and it's almost an S2 car, so that is a huge improvement. As for our front end, I'm going to add pretty much all the bits and pieces here, so any sort of aero that will help us a little bit better. Obviously, the side skirts changes the roof. I don't know how that works, but let's just get rid of that. 915 kilos now. With all that taken off, I'm gonna go ahead and purchase. I'm gonna get race tires. I can't. Can I add both of these? I can't add both of these. Can I? No, I can't add both of these. I was gonna add pretty much snow tire compound and the race tire. I'm gonna do the same. How much do they cost, by the way? So another 10 grand, pretty much. So whatever you guys want to use for any specific events, just buy that tire. I'm gonna go ahead and buy this, and then I'm gonna come back and buy this tire as well in the end, just so we can have both of the tire compounds available for us. So again, like, I can use this thing for on-road or off-road. As for our wheels, it's up to you what you choose. I'm gonna go with something lightweight. I know something that will most likely look decent for this car. Maybe something like these, or these okay, sure, why not put these on. As for our wheel system, I'm not going to change those. I will, however, change the track width so it's as wide as possible. Brings our handling up ever so slightly. Yeah, then everything else, just pretty much buy the race spec version of it. So now, this thing should end up being even lighter, even better at braking. Right now, acceleration is maxed out. Launch is maxed out. Braking is very high. Same with our suspension. I'm going to do the same thing as the tires. I'm going to probably just come back and buy, I mean, it's only like 2 grand a piece to be able to buy all of these. So I'm going to probably buy the race suspension, and then I'm going to come back and buy the drifting and the off-road suspension as well. Just because I'm also going to go ahead and make this thing as light as possible. So 747 kilos. That is incredibly light for a car like this, and it also makes 622 horsepower, and we're still not done with the power. I'm still gonna go ahead and add more power to this thing, obviously. This is really impressive. I honestly didn't think that this was gonna go this high in like performance. It's almost an X-class car, and we spent 172, or let's just put it up to about 175 grand, wasn't it? Because this car is about 170. This car is about 72 grand, and then plus another 100 grand to buy. plus all the tires and all that sort of stuff. So around 175 grand, and you get yourself pretty much hypercar level of performance here. 775 horsepower, and it weighs 781 kilos. Now, if I go ahead and I change the engine, right, just so I can see everything. I think this engine makes 600 and something horsepower, the rally engine. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pretty much upgrade everything on this one, just so I can see. It is also, I think, a little bit heavier, if I remember correctly. Oh yeah, 668. So there you go. It does that, and then obviously just so we can have everything comparable here, I'm gonna do the same thing with the BMW engine as well, just so you guys can see how much power this thing makes and how much heavier it is. It is slightly heavier, but I think it also makes less horsepower than the V8 racing engine. So after changing all that, 761, and it weighs 840 kilos, so it's significantly heavier than the racing engine. So put that back on, put the twin turbos back on, and let's just go ahead and finally upgrade this. I love having a fast game. It's just so good. I can do this very quickly. Okay, nice. Everything done. Finally, 775, 781. It's an S2 980. So I'm going to go ahead and install this setup right now real quick. I'm also going to go ahead and go back and purchase pretty much whatever I wanted to purchase. Since we are in the winter at the moment, I'm going to go ahead and buy these snow tires. I'm also going to go ahead and go to my suspension and purchase the rally suspension. And then we go back, install setup, and then I'm going to go back and buy the drift suspension as well after that. Just so like I said, just so I have everything. So with about 178 grand, 180 grand max, we managed to get a car that's pretty much hypercar status, and it's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive so far. So now let's go ahead and and mess around with this thing. So it's on off-road tires at the moment. It's also got drift suspension. No tune on it whatsoever. It feels fairly quick to drive. Handling wise, it's a little sluggish right now because I haven't. Brakes are really good, actually. Brakes are really good. Okay, let's start doing one of each, I guess, because that's the whole point of this video, is to try and see if I can get this thing to do good as a speed trap, speed zone, danger sign jump, and a drift zone. So we'll start off, since I have drift suspension on it at the moment, we'll start off with a drift zone. I think off-road drift zones are very easy to do. I'm not even gonna attempt to do those, so let's just try to do one on the road. So we'll do something like this, the horseshoe one, I guess. 75,000 points to get here. I'm gonna do it with no tune. I'm gonna try it like that, because a lot of people, especially a lot of new people, when they come to this game, they don't know how to tune their cars or anything like that. So I'm gonna try it no tune, with off-road tires. We'll see what it's like. Obviously, with a tune, this thing would probably drive a lot, well, will definitely drive a lot better, but if you're new to the game, you don't know how to tune your cars or anything like that. Let's say you just come in, you buy a car, you put drift suspension on it, and you just go for it. Okay, I need to get a little bit more angle. So what is it, 75,000 points to complete? This is a joke, right? There you go. There's 77,000 with me absolutely messing up every corner. Now let's try to fix this issue with our tune, just so we can get this thing to slide a little bit better. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna make this thing go a little bit more rear wheel drive. So we'll make it about 80% of the power going to the rear wheels. I'm gonna go ahead and fully lock the diff, which means turning everything up to 100%, because that means that now all wheels should be spinning at the same time all the time, especially since this thing is all-wheel drive, and it should help us slide a little bit easier. I'm also going uphill, so it's a little bit more difficult than going downhill. A little bit. Alright, a little bit more difficult, because this thing still has the power to be able to do whatever it can do. 80,000 points. It's very easy to get points, especially with any modified car. I feel like it's a lot more difficult with stock cars to do any of this, but with any modified car, it's fairly easy. Now, since we've done all that, I'm going to go back to the festival, because I want to change off this whole setup that I have here. I'm going to put race tires on it. I'm also going to go ahead and change my suspension setup. So again, I chose the pretty much all these options just so we can have them. Alright, so I'm going to put race suspension on this thing. I'm also going to go ahead and change my tires. So we have our race tires back onto this thing. And now, our tune should change as well. Our diff should be the exact same as before. So we can change that if we really wanted to. But for the moment, we'll leave it the way it is. And I'm going to go ahead and try to do a speed zone. So we'll see how much faster this thing is. So right now, our top speed is 224. With our gears, we could probably change this thing so it's a little bit faster. Our arrow is the big thing here, because obviously if we bring this over to speed, it'll be even faster. Our suspension setup as well has changed, so this thing should be able to handle a little bit better. Again, no tunes here, because I don't really want to have people be like, oh, well, you know how to tune your car, so what's the point of building a car if, you know, if new people don't know how to tune it. So I'm just not going to tune it at all, just having the upgrades to our car. And we'll see if this thing can do good on speed zones and speed traps and all that sort of stuff. So I'm trying to drive right now. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Our diff needs to change though. Our diff needs to change, because our diff is good if we're trying to drift, but if it's supposed to be good at handling, it's not that good. So reset everything, right? Everything is back down to standard. So if we go to diff, everything is the way it was before, and we leave it like that. Back to stock, and now let's choose a speed trap, I guess. Should we just do this one here? 210 miles per hour. This one should be a little bit of a challenge since it... I mean, is it a challenge though? Because I mean, it's fairly straightforward. Let's try choose one that has a couple of turns before. So maybe this one here, 195 miles per hour. It's got a couple of turns, like I said before, before reaching it. So we'll try it. Let's see if I can reach 195 miles per hour on the speed trap. Also, the roads are very, very snowed over, so this is going to be very interesting. Especially since I put the race tires back onto this car. I think it should still be good. It's all-wheel drive. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. It sort of turns. Not too well, but it sort of does it. Oh, this is really funny in the snow. This is really funny in the snow. Oh, come on. There we go. And 195 to beat. And I beat it by 0.03. Is that it? Yeah, 195. So there you go. Not bad. Right, so we got that one done. That was a little bit of a more difficult one. 145 for this one. We could try and beat this one. I feel like this one should be a little bit more difficult to do. Obviously, the Mosler is doing the job here, but 145 to beat. I feel like that one should be very, very interesting. Because it feels like it should be kind of difficult, especially with the tires that I have on at the moment. Which way am I going? This way. Okay. Wait, am I going this way? I am. This one should be kind of difficult to beat. So let's try it. I don't think I'll be able to do this one. Not with these tires on. Oh no, never mind, the road clears. Still a little wet, but it's fine. Oh wow, 145 to beat, and we absolutely smashed it. 157, very, very easy. These are very easy. I don't know how people are struggling to get 3 stars in these events. Well, there you go. There's a speed zone, speed trap. Now we have to do a danger sign jump. So let's try choose an interesting one. We could try choose this one. I mean, if we choose this one should be very interesting because it's pretty much on top of snow. Right, so I have to drive in the snow for a little bit. And, okay, we'll do that one. We'll do that one. That one should be very interesting. It's on snow. I'm on race tires at the moment. So if I choose snow tires, obviously this will be a lot easier, but let's not do that. Let's give ourselves a little bit of a disadvantage here. See if I remember where I need to aim myself here. That's the problem. Is it before this tree line? No, it's after those trees. I haven't done this this danger sign jump in a long time. It's like right here. There it is. You jump sort of at an angle and it just doesn't count? Excuse me? Is this the one where it doesn't count if I aim a bit too far to the left? Or what? What's the deal here? Why is this not counting at all? I'm gonna aim a lot further to the right here. What is going on here? Where do I need to aim? I am aiming between the flags, and it's not counting. Should I try hit the right flag, maybe? Oh, there we go. I don't understand how that works, but alright. I really don't understand how that works. So let's just go back. I mean, we'll do the same thing. We'll still sort of aim for it, but I mean, I guess aim for the right flag. Okay. 222. I mean, is that good? Is that 3 stars? 222? It is. That was just a weird... That's a really weird jump. Let's just put it that way. That's just a very, very weird jump. So yeah, there you go. It's very easy. It doesn't matter what you choose. It doesn't matter if you choose a big, expensive hypercar or if you choose a stock car and you just sort of upgrade it. It's very, very easy. I'm still on race tires and I'm still able to do any like off-road sections and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, definitely just change your suspension setup, change your tires, and you're pretty much done if you're trying to do all this in the winter. It's very, very simple to do it with any car. So there you go. That's how you get 3 stars with a very, very cheap build. 100 and let's say 200 grand max, and you can get yourself an Alpha 4C with pretty much all of the options already bought. I think it's a very good car. Very, very good car. Top speed wise, it's also very good. Still pulls up speed, like good speed. Well over 200 miles per hour. 219 at that speed trap. Well, I guess I'm gonna leave it there. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like it. If you want to see more videos like this on the channel, don't forget to subscribe. And yeah, let me know what you guys thought of this video, because again, I've made the previous video and people told me, why don't I just buy a cheap car and upgrade it? And I was like, because people don't really know how to tune their cars. But I mean, I'm just gonna try it anyway with no tune, just to see how it works. And yeah, the cars work pretty well, especially this little Alpha 4C. I feel like it's a quite underrated car for what it is. I think it with a really, really good tune, I think you could literally use this thing for adventure games as well. So I think this might be a very fun car to use for those. But for now, that's pretty much it for the 4C. And it's in the winter season as well, so it's sort of being held back a little bit because of the lack of grip and everything because of the snow. But yeah, that's it. Again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.